All right, so I wanted to do a little off-season guide for the Vegas Golden Knights, Stanley Cup champs. I was at the game. Just wanted to do a little quick off-season preview for the team. Can they repeat? What do their free agents look like? How about the cap space? Can they add anything? What's going on with the team? So I figured I wanted to do a deep dive of what's going on. Can we expect the Knights to get better? What kind of team are they going to put out there next season? Obviously, we're still celebrating the championship, but it's never too early. July 1's coming up soon. So offseason will be here before we know it. Also, I had a little bit of an inspiration for this video because I was kind of looking around. Hey, what kind of content can I put out there for the offseason guide? I'm going to be a little bit of a hater right now, but you expect that out of me. So there's only one article out there on the Knights offseason that I found. Anyway, it's from Bleacher Report. I don't know who this Aaron Walsh is, but I can pretty much guarantee that this person has never watched hockey in their life, like ever. It's such a terrible article that I'm pretty sure a 5-year-old could do better than this. Let me just go over some errors in this article really quickly. It's so funny. Barbashev also fit in nicely alongside of Chandler Stevenson and Phil Kessel. That didn't happen. Like literally the entire playoffs. Phil Kessel, can we go look at his stats really quickly? I just want to show you this. It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny. Can we go to his playoff stats? Can we go to his playoff stats? Just really quickly. Phil Kessel played in 4 playoff games, none in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I don't know what this girl's thinking, or can we do this? So this is the lines, right? And Barbashev skated with Eichel and Marchessault, basically all of playoffs. So yikes, Bleacher Report. You got to do a little bit better than this. And then at the bottom, free agent targets. You go on this long tangent about Patrick Kane. Bro, he just had hip surgery. He's not even going to fucking play in the first game of the year. How do you not mention that? Like, you're going to talk about Patrick Kane and not one time list that he had hip surgery? Yikes. I don't listen. Aaron Walsh. Do fucking better, because that is bad. Yikes. Okay, anyway, let's exit this out. So let's talk about a couple things really quickly. There's $3.5 million in cap space that we're looking at for the offseason. But the good news is there's really nobody that they have to spend the money on outside of 2 guys, right? They're losing Barbashev to free agency. They're losing Adin Hill to free agency. Other than that, it's a couple of restricted guys like Brett Howden has a qualifying offer. It's like $1 million. They can bring him back if they want to, which he had a bad regular season, but a good postseason. So maybe a tough decision. It'll depend on how the cap space looks like, if they can bring back those guys. And then Pavel Dorofeyev looks like a young guy with some promise. So they'll have to give him a new contract, but it'll probably be similar to what Paul Cotter got at league minimum. So, or what Logan Thompson got. So it'll probably be similar to that. So that's probably not really a concern. Let's talk about the 2 free agents, the big dogs first. Ivan Barbashev, Adin Hill. Because I probably should have kept that up. There we go. They're really weak at left wing. They're really weak at left wing. Riley Smith is going to keep skating with Carlson, so is what it is. But it's these 2 spots that really they have to figure out. The Max Pacioretty trade, I've been over it 100 times. He's a total piece of shit. I would fight him on the spot still. He should look in the mirror because he was always the problem. But they haven't really... Oh, I mean, I guess they can say solved the issue with Barbashev, right? He proved to be a perfect fit. But can you get better over here? Maybe. Probably not. I think the biggest number one thing that the Knights have to do is bring back this guy. I mean, he was awesome all playoffs long. I talked about it in an article here. That's the wrong one. Anyway, they got to bring back Barbashev. The nasty hits, the way he laid out Radko Gudas. He's doing the dirty work along the boards. He actually shot the puck pretty well. He was scoring. They have to bring him back. I don't know what his contract's going to be. Again, limited cap space. How do we create more cap space? He's going to cost way more than this. How do you create more cap space? There's really two outcomes I see here with the Golden Knights. Number one, can you keep Robin Lehner? Probably not. I don't think it's probably a good idea to keep Robin Lehner. $5 million. What's going to happen with Robin Lehner? Because he is coming off of hip surgery. I guess he should be able to play this year, but we don't really know. He's also going through some bankruptcy stuff with a snake farm. Weird dude. I don't think they even want to bring him back. I don't think he even wants to come back. And I'm pretty sure that Jack Eichel doesn't like him from his Buffalo days. So that's an easy way to clear out $5 million. Can they find a taker for him? This is the thing I've kind of been looking at when it comes to Robin Lehner. So if you pull up Robin Lehner, right, the guy hasn't been terrible his whole life. He has a track record of being a good goaltender. A career mark of 917. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, if you get 917 next year, did Adin Hill even post 917? He might have. Did Adin Hill even post 917 this past year? He may have. 915. Okay, so if you get 917 the entire year, you'll fucking take that, especially with this blue line that Vegas has. So I don't think he has zero value. He's been a good goaltender in the past. Look at some of the seasons he's put together. Now, last year he wasn't healthy, and the year before that he was pretty average. But to say, like, compare this to a guy like Cal Peterson, right? Cal Peterson, the Kings basically dumped him. He's been terrible forever. I mean, the last 2 years he's been god awful, like awful. And he's got the same cap hit that Robin Lehner does. So are you telling me they can't move Lehner? They can't find a home for him? I did pull up a let's see if it comes up without typing in the brand. It might. So I came up with a couple, options, right? Some of these include bringing a goalie in. Some of them don't. Do you want to re-sign Adin Hill? It all kind of depends here. Carolina might be able to use him. Columbus has been adding, right? Maybe they would want him. That's maybe a pipe dream scenario. Is there a way you could bring in Carter Hart and Travis Konechny, have the Flyers retain? I think that's maybe a home run scenario. The Penguins, there are teams that need goalies, but I mean, one right here with Seattle. Do we think the Seattle Kraken want an upgrade over Martin Jones? I think so. He carries a lower cap hit. You can bury him in the minors. That's something to consider with a Drieger trade. So there are ways to at least, at minimum, reduce the cap hit for Robin Lehner. I don't think you need to buy him out. I think it would actually be foolish to buy him out. So especially if the Kings were able to move Cal Peterson, you should be able to move Robin Lehner. So let's say we can get this number up to, I mean, it'd be nice if you could get it up to 8.5. And then, again, the cap might actually be higher than this. We don't have the exact cap. If it goes up by $1.5 million, it would do a lot of help. If it looks like it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2 million, it goes up. This is the figure for 1 million, I think. But again, you should be able to move on from Robin Lehner. I think that's mission number one for this offseason. How much money does that bring back? Can you bring back Ivan Barbashev? What does it cost to bring back Ivan Barbashev? There's no question that his money obviously has gone up from the playoff performance that he had. So, again, you look at the left wing position. It's really just Carrier. I mean, you have Amadio who plays over here, but you got to improve left wing. Left wing is the biggest area of need. Somebody on the left side that can put the puck in the net. That's basically what they need. So what's it going to cost to bring back Barbashev? Can you do it? The biggest advantage, obviously, and this is something that I hope that they're pushing towards Barbashev, is no state tax. No state tax. So a Canadian team could bid way more, but in reality, it's really not more because of the no state tax. And, the Canadian taxes are a lot higher. So item number one needs to be bring back Ivan Barbashev. Item number two is what do we do with goalie after you offload Robin Leonard? Is there a trade that brings back another goalie, or do you try to re-sign Adin Hill, or do you try to re-sign Laurent Brossoit, or do you try to re-sign Jonathan Quick? Again, you have limited cap space. Who fits into that number? Now, it kind of sounds like I'll go into the Slack here really quickly. It kind of sounds like Hill wants to return. How much are you willing to bid for Hill? Me personally, I'm probably not willing to go any higher than like 3.5, 4, like 4 tops. And I'm sure he can do way more than that. But I think if the agent here, it all depends on the price. Like, I'm a firm believer you don't pay goalies. You put a good blue line together. You play well in front of them. If you do those things, you don't need to pay a good goalie. And if you're paying a good goalie, you probably can't protect them anyway. So stop paying goalies. Am I willing to go higher than 3.5 or 4? Probably not. Probably not. So it all kind of depends on what he's willing to accept. And again, a big advantage that they have, no state tax. So what can they fit into this number? I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know what Adin Hill is asking for. But again, if he is a guy that says, hey, I found a spot that I'm playing well in, I found a coach that I'm playing well for, all the credit in the world goes to Bruce Cassidy because that guy's a hell of a coach. But if you can bring back Adin Hill for a reasonable number, right? Let's say it's 3.5. You clear out the Leonard money, and then that goes to Barbashev. I think that's probably the best case scenario. You can run the team back. Who knows from there, right? Who knows from there? That's probably the best case scenario. One thing that the Knights may have to look at that I'm sure they don't want to look at is Alec Martinez. And I kind of went over this in a post that I did. Can I bring that up? Maybe it'll come up. It probably will. Yes. First page of Google. Look at that. Trey owns the fucking internet. So with Alec Martinez, he's got a decent sized cap hit, right? 5.25. He slowed down a lot this year. He did. He's about to be 36. After the Cup win, he kind of talked about how it was the hardest year of his career. He almost retired, all injury related stuff. So can you bring that number back? Can you bring that number back in order to actually improve the team? And again, it's not like Martinez is a bad player. He still led the league in shot blocks. So if you take Martinez out, can you bring in a reasonable defenseman to replace him? Is Korzak ready? A lot of questions. A lot of questions that need to be asked there. Is there a veteran replacement that you think is better on a cheaper deal? Probably not. Does he even... We don't even know if he wants to come back. Like, if I'm Alec Martinez and I almost had to retire, I can sit my money on LTIR, ride off into the sunset. I'm about to be 36. So that's probably one additional thing that the Knights are probably looking at. Other than that, the cap is expected to spike the year after in a significant way, probably 5 million, maybe even more. Once that happens, I think Marchessault gets an extension, probably be the same number. Him and Riley Smith have made the same pretty much since they've been there. So I would expect that one's pretty easy. Another 5 million, drag it out. William Carrier, he's a fourth liner. I'm sure that contract's going to be easy to take care of. Chandler Stevenson, to me, is the big one. He has definitely earned a significant raise. But again, that Martinez money will come up the following year anyway. We know that Stevenson will get a raise. The cap is going up. I would anticipate that they're able to take care of that. The only questionable part of it is he's about to turn 30 soon. So, well, this upcoming thing. So how much is it actually going to cost to keep Stevenson? I think longer term, that's probably the bigger focus, getting the core actually re-signed, because the core is Stanley Cup worthy. The core is fucking damn good. You got your number one centerman. The fact that they're so deep down the middle is what makes this team a great team. Nick Waugh being your fourth line center, it doesn't really get better than that. He's such a puck hound. So, and he can play up and down the lineup, so versatile. So keeping a guy like Stevenson is imperative. He's so good at the faceoff dot too. He's their faceoff guy in the power play. So You got to keep him at all costs, I think. And then other than that, I mean, you got your number one D-man. Shea Theodore's awesome. You got the best third pairing in the league. It's pretty straightforward offseason for the Vegas Golden Knights. It really should be a pretty straightforward offseason. Re-sign Barbashev, figure out who your number 2 goalie is, find a taker for Robin Leonard. Maybe the icing on the cake being, is there a way we can upgrade over Brett Howden? We would take Brett Howden for $1 million back if we have to, but is there a guy on the market that we could sign that says, hey, this is a clear upgrade over Brett Howden? Somebody that hopefully forechecks better than Patrick Kane. We know that Patrick Kane plays negative defense, and he's having hip surgery, so that's definitely not an option. Is there somebody better than Brett Howden? What do you do with Alec Martinez? Can you bring back Alec Martinez somehow, some way? So that's kind of what you're looking at for the offseason. Let me know what you think. Any comments? I'm open to them. Is there a way that you can even be creative with that second goalie? I brought up the Flyers. They seem like one of the only teams that knows they're in clear tank mode. Daniel Briere seems very eager to tear down this roster and start over. Is there a way you can maybe bring in Carter Hart and Travis Konechny and sign some kind of a big package deal to where your wing and center is kind of taken care of in the same trade and have them retain salary? That's like a bigger, maybe icing on the cake trade idea, but let me know what you think. I'm open to your comments. Again, Stanley Cup champs. So, all's good here. All is good here. Easy offseason. Even if you can't bring back Ivan Barbashev, maybe you can bring in a Jason Zucker for dirt cheap. So left wing, backup goalie. Other than that, Vegas should be a very, very, very good team. Again, they were the number 1 seed in the West. They won the Stanley Cup. So they're going to be a problem for at least another 3 or 4 years. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out, Girl Scout.